Hello there, people out there. This is Wake Up. I'm going to do something a little bit different now. I'm not going to review any movies. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions on the NHS, on healthcare, and what have you. I mean, Have Hope used to joke some of the times on his radio show that he's going to talk about a little bit of healthcare and all this, that, and the other. And I was actually quite interested to hear what the guy's got to say about it, you know. And I've just finished university, and I qualify as a newly qualified nurse in September. And I thought, yeah, why not? I might as well give some thoughts and opinions about this subject. And also, I believe that Obama's trying to get something like this sorted out in America. I think is it Proposition 5, or it's something like that. I don't know much about that, obviously, because I'm in England and what have you, and we don't really get that much news about America over here. But not really that much. And the news that we do get about it is there's always some sort of spin on it, so it's hard to know what to believe and what to trust. Yeah, okay, the NHS, on paper, the NHS, okay, first off, stands for National Health Service, alright? And it works by, on paper, it works where everyone in England and Ireland and Scotland and Wales gets free healthcare. Okay? But relatively speaking, it's not actually free, because we're paying national insurance. Now, national insurance is compulsory. Every single person who has a job in England has to pay it. And I believe that money is given and spread across throughout all the public sector. So like some of it goes to the police force, some of it goes to the NHS, and I'm not sure if some of it goes to firemen or what have you, but it could do. Anyway, yeah, on paper the NHS is a superb thing. I mean, it's brilliant. However, the main problem with it is because everyone's paying national insurance, they think all the money that they've paid into it throughout all the years, when they need it, they should be given the best of everything. When actually that's not really the case. I mean, fair enough, you've paid into it, but you're paying the money into other people's care. You know, we're looking out for one another. The money that we are paying is already being used on someone else, so that when we're ill and when we're not being able to, when we can't work, that person in theory is paying back for our care. Okay? But it's done on the national insurance, which is basically taken out of your wage slip at the end of every month. But to be honest, and there's always these great big controversies in health, revolving nine times out of 10 about some new drug which has come out or which has been tried in America and it works. Well, you know what? New drugs are expensive. They are extremely expensive, and the side effects sometimes aren't known, you know. So I mean, think about it. If you've got a drug that can cure or negate the causes and side effects of cancer for a while, yeah, you don't know the side effects that drug might have. For example, it could make you go blind. You know, it could kill certain parts of your immune system, so then you're completely vulnerable to diseases. Just because it hasn't been tried very much, and you're going off the initial findings that the research shows you, doesn't mean it's the best one. Which is why sometimes, yes, the drugs that are used in the NHS, okay, they may be cheaper, right, but they're more like a scattergun approach. It's tried and tested. Okay, that's not really talking that much about the NHS. I mean, let me talk some more about this, right? In England, we have another sector called the private sector, which is, you still pay your national insurance, however you can pay even more and get another insurance from like Bupa or from another private insurance company, which will basically allow you to have all these best treatments and best drugs, but you need to pay an awful lot more every single month. Okay, which is kind of like the insurance thing that's been set up in America. However, judging from what Sicko showed me, the Michael Moore documentary, I found it just completely, even as like a healthcare worker, I found it completely staggering. I mean, the idea. All right, let me digress a little bit. I went to America about 4 years ago, and I broke my ankle when I was in Miami. And luckily, I did have travel insurance with Marks and Spencers. And before they would even give me anything, they demanded to see my insurance papers. And I said jokingly to the nurse, what would have happened if I didn't have it? And she said, you know, we'd have sent you home. We wouldn't have been able to treat you. We would have denied you treatment. Which is, I know it's a one case scenario, but I've got to work off what's happened to me, if that makes sense. And judging from what I saw in that Michael Moore documentary, which I know it doesn't reflect the whole health system in America, but I'm using that as like a foundation, okay? I find it utterly disgraceful and just disgusting and despicable. You know, I find it so just ridiculous. You know, but this is another problem with the NHS, right? Though, okay, I mean, for how good it is, you know, for how brilliant it is, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately, there's no way it can really work. Okay, now just think about this for a minute, okay? There are hardly any nurses out there. You've got more managers than you have nurses. One manager's salary can pay for 4 nurses working on the ward. The wards are understaffed, and the nurses themselves are underpaid. Us nurses have only had a 1% pay rise for the last 4 or 5 years, whereas managers, typically, even though their pay rise has been going down over the last 4 years, every single year they've been having up to, I think this year they got like a 13% pay rise, which is, it's disgusting, because the moment the manager's only role is they're looking at it from money, okay, from a money and a financing perspective, which is completely flawed. You can't. The whole point of giving care is you're supposed to look at that person's needs, what he or she needs, okay? How will they survive if they go back home? Will they need someone to wash them, to dress them, to cook for them, you know? Have they got someone to do their shopping? Have they got someone to just help them out? Have they got someone to talk to, you know? Have they got friends? Have they got relatives? Have they got family, you know? You need to look at the whole person. Whereas bed management and the managers, the ward managers and what have you, their only concern is getting them out as quickly and as safely as possible. Okay? And the moment you start putting a price on caring, which is what they're doing, because they need to ship them out so then they've got more room. You know, another spare bed free. Which is fair enough, okay? But the moment you start putting a time limit on giving care, it's ridiculous, because 9 times out of 10 you're rushing things to get things done. You know? And it's not good. It is not good. That's not the way that care should be done. And I don't know if in America, because you're paying for it, maybe it's the other way around, because they want to keep you in as long as possible, because at the end of the day you're paying them. And finally, man, consider this. For every 20 minutes a nurse spends with a patient, say doing a dressing or washing them or what have you, they've got to do half an hour's work of paperwork. Because we live in a culture which is to sue you, sue the state, and sue whoever you can just to make a quick buck, nurses are liable for everything they do and document up to 7 years. Therefore, more time is spending doing paperwork, which shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the way it's done. Okay, so things need to change. Things need to evolve. Anyway, the site, www.talkaboutworld.net, for the real fan. Join the debate. Bay out. And...
Are you crazy? Could kill me! You're welcome! Every one of us is expendable! Got a problem with it?
Fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
How cool is
So
that?
many good actors in there.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be fucking sweet.
That's gonna be quite good, isn't it?